everybody, Jeff King here, coming to you with another Initial Impressions video. This time we are going to be looking at Sun, Moon, and Stars, which is coming from Minion Games to Kickstarter August 18th, 2015. And this is a hidden, little kind of micro-style game with a hidden identity where you are a spirit animal that is trying to get the celestial forms to kind of align properly for your particular spirit animal. So this plays 2 to 6 players. Everybody will get one of these roles that only they know. And in a 2 to 4 player game, you'll be using the wolf, the owl, the deer, and the serpent. In a 5 to 6 player game, you will also throw in the bear, the coyote, and the raven. And you will also add in a comet to the sun, moon, and stars. And basically, pretty much every spirit animal has 2 celestial beings that they want in front of them. So, for instance, this deer here wants the sun and the stars in front of them. If at the end of a card play, regardless of who played it, once the card is completely finished, then if this particular player has the sun and the stars in front of them, they win that round. This is a very quick, very fast-paced and easy game to play. And like I said, almost all of the spirit animals are that way. They have 2 of the celestials in front of them that they want, except the serpent. The serpent basically has kind of 2 ways that they can win. They can win if they ever get 3 of the celestials in front of one player. Doesn't matter who it is. Any player has 3 of them in front of them, then they win. Or if they can get through an entire round and nobody has won, the serpent will win. In a 2 to 4 player game, somebody will be the serpent. But in like a 5 to 6 player game, you actually will have one role that won't be used. So in that instance, if the serpent is the one that's out and nobody has won by the end of the round, then it's kind of like a shared victory. Everybody wins. You can decide how long you want to play this. Typically, you can play like 3 to 5 rounds, or something like first one to win 3, something like that. So basically what you do, again, everybody gets one of these hidden rolls. So you'll pass out the hidden roll. The dealer will pass out the hidden roll. The dealer will also take the sun, star, and moon and basically deal them out counterclockwise, starting with themselves until they're gone. The person to the left, or starting clockwise then, is going to actually be the first player. So the dealer is going to deal out everybody's cards. They're going to give everybody the celestials. They're going to give everybody their hidden roll, their hidden spirit animal. And then everybody will get 2 cards from this deck. And then from there, you basically draw one and play one. So the person that starts the game does not have a celestial in front of them, but they will play cards to manipulate where the celestials are. And these cards, again, they have to be you have to fully complete the card before you check for a win. So for instance, this deer hiding tells you that the moon goes to wherever the stars are, and it goes clockwise. But basically the moon moves to wherever the stars are, but the stars are going to move 1 or 2 spaces. So it's at least 1, but the player can decide who plays this. It can go up to 2. So this entire card has to be done, and then at that point you check for a win. You got things like father, son. Basically just the sun moves on and it can go 1 or 2 spaces. You have things like the serpent speaking, which allows basically every celestial to move on at least 1, if not 2 spaces. So again, this is kind of a powerful card, kind of an interesting card. You have the serpent whispering, which allows you to exchange any 2 positions celestials, including an empty. So I might not have nothing in front of me. Another player might have 2 celestials in front of them. If I play this, I could swap and they would have nothing and I would have 2. I could have 2 other people swap. Maybe I'm trying to get a certain celestial a little closer to me, that kind of thing. So that's what that one does. So there's all kinds of combinations in here that you can do. And then the round ends when you go through the deck twice. So basically you run through it, and then when somebody has to draw and can't draw, they shuffle up the discard pile, and then you go through it one more time. Once that happens, then the round ends, and again, if nobody's won, then if the serpent is in play, they've won. And if the serpent isn't in play, then everybody kind of gets a shared win, and you go on to the next round. And your victory condition is what you said at the beginning of the game. Again, you can play best, first to 3, something like that, or a set number of rounds, that kind of thing. All right. Initial impressions. What do I think of this game? Well, first of all, let me say again, this is a prototype or a review copy. So this may or may not be final. Check out the Kickstarter, see what they've got planned for it. But speaking from what I have, first of all, I've played this 2 players. In fact, in the video behind me, you should be seeing the 2-player version. And I've played this up into the 6 players. I took it to a gaming event that I went to recently and got a fair amount of play out of it. I like this game for what it is. It is a short game. It is a fast-paced game. It is what I would consider a solid filler game. This is a very good game, in my opinion, for those times when some other people might be showing up, or maybe you don't have a lot of time at the end of the night, you want to play one more thing, or at the beginning of a gaming event and you're waiting for a few people. This plays really quick, and it's super fast to teach and pick up on because it's very easy. There's not a lot to have to explain. The cards are pretty self-explanatory after you kind of showed them. And again, they're playing a card anyway, so you can walk them through it. There's, nice symbols. The icons on here works fine. I kind of like, this is fairly simplistic art, but I like that in the fact that it is the theme of the spirit animals, and trying to get the proper celestial alignment, and the whole little bit of theme that's kind of been put behind the game is very nice. I like the fact that, they're pretty simplistic drawings, but I do like, but that kind of almost harkens back to the cave drawing kind of thing. But at the same time, if you look close enough, and you can really kind of see it with like the bear, the background of the silhouette of the animal is in, the star, it's showing stars and the sky, and I like that. The celestials are nice and huge, easy to tell what they are just by looking at them, but then even there you've got the big wording on it. So even if you're playing, say, that 6-player game and people are kind of spread out maybe across the table, you're not going to have a problem knowing that this is the comet, this is the moon, that kind of thing. So I like that. This deck shrinks down a bit when you go from 2 to 4, or when you're playing in 2 to 4, and then kind of grows a little bit. There's some 5 to 6-player cards that you put in here, especially since, the fact you're adding a comet, so you also have to have some cards that allow you to move the comet. So there you go. Again, let me grab everything here. There you go. That is your entire game right there. That deck right there. So again, definitely in that micro love lettery style kind of game. Plays super quick. You're not eliminating people like, say, you would with Love Letter. Again, Love Letter is a quick game. I don't mind the elimination in it, but this is a quick game where you're not eliminating people. They're all kind of in it until somebody takes a round. And again, it plays so super fast. We played a bunch of it, and then kind of, and still, had plenty of time left over afterwards. Okay, we've played 4 or 5 rounds. Let's go ahead and now play the next big game. Everybody's kind of calmed down from their last 5-6 hour gaming session. We played something light, and then we went on to the next big heavy game. So this to me falls really good into a filler game. There is a nice piece of strategy to it, where you draw a card and you play a card. So there's a little bit of randomness, obviously, on what kind of cards you're going to get. But the times I've played, depending on what your spirit animal is, there are certain cards you might want to keep back for yourself, and watch when you play them. Again, you've got the ability to move certain things 1 or 2 spots, that kind of stuff. You've got where you're just moving the one celestial, that kind of stuff. So I've kind of been able to potentially hold back some cards and go, okay, this is what I want to do. I can see kind of how things are going, and maybe manipulate it so that I can get something good, especially if you're playing the Serpent, because the Serpent, you're pretty much playing against all the opponents and trying to make sure none of them get what they want, and or you want to clump 3 celestials together. So there's a nice little chunk of strategy in such a small, quick game, that puts it in a positive light for me for a filler game, that I think is pretty cool. So, like I said at the beginning, this will be on Kickstarter from Minion Games come August 18th, 2015. And once again, it is called Sun, Moon, and Stars. So you will be able to see that on Kickstarter very shortly, possibly already launched by the time I get this out, but we will see. So go check it out if you're looking for a very quick style kind of filler game. I think this is a good one to check out. So I will. We actually have more videos coming very soon, and so you will be seeing more from us in the very near future. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you soon.